Hi, this is Simon from HomeKit News, and this week we're looking at yet another new product from Aqara, the rather wordy roller shade driver E1, a retrofit device to make your existing dumb blind smart. Sound good? Keep watching for more. So on to the product in question, which if you're not aware is from Aqara, and as this is the international version, the name and all other text is in English. I think it's fair to mention the international version works not only with Apple HomeKit, but also Amazon and Google, as well as IFTTT. To use the E1, you do need one of Aqara's hubs like the M1S, the M2, or even the G2H, for example. A quick glance at the packaging gives you an example of how you can use the E1 in automations, whilst the side boasts some of the device's features, including user-defined opening or closing and one-button control with the on-device buttons. It all sounds good so far, so let's unbox the E1 and have a better look. First off is the manual, which comes in most of the major European languages, as well as Russian, Korean, Japanese and Chinese. Next is an adhesive sticker to affix the device to a wall, although you also get screws for more permanent fitting. Onto the main device now, which might seem a little large if, like me, you've previously owned the Soma Smart Shades 2, with this one coming in at 165mm or 6.89 inches tall. There are a few more extras which we'll look at now, so you get a set of the aforementioned screws and roll plugs. You also get a USB cable to recharge the device and some extra cogwheels which we'll look at shortly. So just to recap, I'm listing the entire contents of the box for your convenience. As the E1 can work with different types of blinds that may also have different pull cords, Aqara include 3 extra cogwheels in addition to the one already fitted inside the device. I mentioned a USB cable, and you might be happy to hear the company have gone for a USB-C connection that plugs into the USB port at the base of the E1 next to the pairing and reset button. You can either use it to permanently power the E1 or just recharge the internal battery when needed. We have the 2 means by which to mount the E1 to the wall, which actually connect to the wall plate. This plate is detachable from the main motor, as you can see here, and you can use either the adhesive sticker or the screws to fit the plate into place. You then simply clip the motor into place when ready. Let's remove the head cover now to reveal the included default cogwheel. This is the one I use, which works well with the beaded cores on my blinds, which you'll see later. As you can see, it's quite easy to remove the cogwheel and replace it with one of the other 3 cogwheels that may work better with your particular blinds. I've already fitted the E1, so I'll first show you the manual controls and how they work, which is sort of obvious, I guess. So for example, pressing the down button will begin or continue to close the blinds, unless they're already fully closed, of course. But if you press either of the buttons whilst the blinds are in motion, it'll stop the blinds. Pressing the up button, as you can guess, opens the blinds. It's a little hard to tell, but the volume of the motor for me is quite quiet, and certainly a lot quieter than the Soma, which had a high-pitched whirring sound. And here's a close-up of the motor in action so you can see exactly how it all works, at least in the case of a beaded chain. In order for your cord to move freely, you do need to eventually remove the tabs, as you can see I've done here. Removing the head cover, if you feel the need, is quite easy, with a slight push up to remove it and a gentle press downwards to clip it back into place. In order to use this in HomeKit or the Aqara app, you will need to go through a configuration procedure. You should note this procedure is not available in HomeKit mode in the Aqara app. That aside, for the configuration you have 3 steps, with the first step determining which way around your blinds are set. So pressing the down button on the screen should make the blinds close, and pressing the up button should make the blinds open, which, as you can see, is the case for my blinds. If the blinds don't go in the downward direction, you simply select inconsistent so the app can swap directions to make it work as expected. The second step involves setting the highest point of your blind so the motor knows at what point to stop when opening. Press the up button, then press pause when you get to the right point. If you miss your point, you can just move the blinds up or down until you get it right and then click next. For the third step, you do the same as before, but for the closed position, Once done, click Next. Your blinds are now configured and you'll see a section to control the E1. The blinds will now also work as expected in HomeKit. Speaking of HomeKit, let's open the Home app and look at the E1 there. In the Home app you only get the one tile for the E1, and if we long press on the tile you get access to a slider that allows you to adjust the amount by which the blinds are open or closed. Tapping on the tile will fully open or close the blinds. In the settings panel for the E1 you get information on the battery level and charging status, along with whether the blinds encounter an obstruction. In addition, you get the usual options to include the E1 in automations, with a few presets ready to be activated. That's it for the Home app, so let's see what else Aqara offers. The main screen offers much the same basics, including open, close and pause, along with battery levels, and you also get a similar slider interface to control the position of the blinds. One of the extras you get on this screen offers a function called Scenario. In this section you can create a scenario or scene that allows you to set a custom position for the blinds and allow that to occur over a period of time. So here I'm going to first name the scenario and give it a specific icon. Then I'm going to set the blinds to 77% to open over the course of 15 minutes. Whilst scenarios are a nice addition, these scenarios can only be activated manually, which is a shame, so you can't include them in automations or other scenes. On to additional settings, and you have a choice of 4 different types of blinds you can use, which are roller, zebra, Venetian and Shangri-La. Now there are other basic options you can alter as well, including resetting the blind positions, for example, which takes you through the same configuration procedure we went through earlier. Whilst you may want to create automations in the Home app, the Aqara app offers some good options too. For scenes you get quite a few different options for the E1, including tilt position for Venetian or vertical blinds. This allows you to set the motor to move the angle of the blinds, although you have to choose whether the E1 opens and closes the blinds or tilts them, not both. So it's up to you to decide the function it performs. There are a few other options available for using the E1 in scenes, which I'll leave you to explore whilst I move on to automations. One thing I like about the Aqara app is its ability to trigger automations from other automations, which has a lot of potential. You can also control the E1 based on the time of day as expected, or you can even set the E1 to be triggered based on the alarm state of your hub. One option that could be of benefit to some is automations based on things like sunrise and sunset, as well as temperature or humidity. If you happen to have an M1S Hub, you can even control the state of the blinds based on the amount of light in the room by using the ambient light sensor within the M1S itself. Of course, the hub has to be in the same room as the blinds and in a place that represents the typical brightness of the room itself, but it's another nice little feature to have. How does the E1 perform in terms of speed, you're probably asking? Well, having used the Soma Smart Shades 2 for well over a year now, I can tell you that it's not quite as fast, and for the window that they've both covered, the Aqara is about 10 to 11 seconds slower. Although this is a full-length window, smaller windows will obviously show less of an overall time difference. Speed may be important to some, but the noisy motor of the Soma has now been replaced by the much quieter sound of the E1, and that means a lot considering it's in our bedroom. Add to this the speed and reliability of Zigbee compared to Bluetooth in the Soma, and it really is no competition, I'm sorry to say, with the Aqara winning hands down in my opinion. Whether the Aqara is a match for fitted automated blinds from IKEA or upcoming options that use thread is another question we'll have to ask later, however. Finally, onto the pros and cons, and with some other Aqara products I've recently reviewed, I really am searching for any meaningful downsides, but I just haven't found any, so it's all pros at this point. So for the first of these pros, it's fairly quiet, which is a welcome change for me compared to the Soma. As it's a retrofit product, it's going to be of great use to renters or for those that are already happy with their existing blinds. Now, I'm a big fan of Zigbee, and to have this replace a Bluetooth device is just what was required for more reliability and speed. Now, not everybody likes smarts for all of their devices, but having them on blinds with a lot of automation options is definitely a great use case in my opinion, and as it's battery powered there are no dangling cables to worry about. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, the on-device controls are a great fail-safe if for whatever reason an automation or a Siri request just doesn't work. That's our overview of the Roller Shade Driver E1, but if you'd like to read an in-depth written review, click on the link above or in the description. If you've got any questions or comments, please do add them into the comments section, and until the next video, stay safe.